think one of the things we forget about when it comes to the process of moving is grief. Grief for your old life, all of the rhythms of living and the routines that you have in your previous place. Oh my God, I'm spilling coffee. Go me, go me. I was on a roll there. Intermission. What was I saying? And I keep spilling coffee, but thankfully I just grabbed a big ass freaking plate so that it doesn't just spill everywhere. So I've been journaling this morning and I'm just like all over the place emotionally, and I just find that the more I feel like inadequate or useless or unproductive or worthless and all of these things, which I know like stems from so much. Anybody doing the trauma work, you know, but like I've learned over the years to not like put my worth so much into what it is that I do, because that can feel like a never-ending game of like you have to do ABC to feel ABC, or that if you don't do ABC that you are like nothing. Like I hate that feeling. Like I think it just stems from like feeling purposeless. And you know, there's a lot of talk about find your passion, find your purpose, find the things that bring you joy, do your, you know, follow your desires, do these things. And it's like once you find that and you do that and you love doing it and you're doing it, and then life disrupts that. Something in my freaking eye. God, in the moment life begins to disrupt all of that, it can just feel like crap. It just feels not great. And it's a lot of that is like you must not care enough to keep going. Like that feeling of like you're not making it a priority. And yes, there is a lot of that. There's a lot of that, right? But there's this element of like life's so freaking hard right now that it's like I can't even focus on those things. And I think like I hate that I am in this in-between feeling of like I know what it's like to feel, I know what it's like to be in poverty and to be like in the ground of like all of these emotions and trauma and grief and feelings, deep feelings. But I also see and feel the other side of like what it takes to get out of that, what it takes to like step out from that and pull yourself off the ground, dust your knees, all of those things, right? Like to like finally step out of that and do the thing that you want. And there is this big piece of like, you've got to just make that a priority. Make what you want in life a priority and make those changes. Small steps every day, little things every day, making it into this life that you want, right? But I feel like I'm not making sense. There's this element of like, it's like you know what you need to do, but you're not doing it. And then there's times where you do it, but it's not enough. And then you feel like not enough. I'm just like in all of those feelings. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like a lot of us know what that feels like. A lot of us know deeply what that feeling is. It's that, especially trauma survivors, it's that like, you know what needs to be done, and there's days where you don't do it, or there's days that you try to do it and it doesn't help or doesn't work, and you're like in this in between trying to explain what I've been journaling about, and I'm just like, I can't even explain it. It's like I can write the words, sometimes, or it's just mumbo jumbo, and I'm just like, what the fuck did I just write? What did I just journal about? What did I just feel? You know, and I hate to say this, but I do find that like trauma survivors have a hard time in spells of grief, in these stages of grief, and when things go crap in their life, or when things just change in their life. It's not like life is crap, it just, when life is different, or just goes different from what you had hoped or planned or whatever, everything comes up. Like, just, so it all floods in, right? And then you have to like start to like pick it apart and be like, okay, this feeling is not what I feel now. That was what I felt then. And da, da, da. Like, you have to do all this work, right? But people forget that like when you've had so much happen in your life, that is just not easy to bounce back. And you know, it's great to have the growth mindset and to be resilient and to bounce back and to quickly get to living your life again. That's really what it comes down to. Just get back to living your life again. It's hard, it's difficult, and it takes time, and not everybody can just bounce back. You know, it just, these moments for some people commands you to stop. Life stops because it commands you to process and to think about what's going on and what you're feeling. Your body commands you to rest. And if you don't, then it just gets, you know, it gets worse, and it goes longer. But I think also if you do, it also gets worse and gets longer. It's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. In the sense of like looking at your conscious and subconscious and like figuring out what you're feeling and emotionally doing. It's like that, again, that in-between feeling of like, you know what you need to do and you're doing it, and then that's not helping, and I don't know. This is grief. This is grief. This is. I feel tears coming on, and I'm not going to be the creator, so I'm going to cry in front of the camera. So, whatever. This is just, I just wanted to show up real quickly because we just don't share enough of this stuff. The other side of living. Okay, so one of the first things I'm doing to try to work myself out of this grief and emotional spirals and all of these things that are just like taking me away from life and living and joy, is decluttering, getting my space cleaner. As you can see in these clips, like everything is everywhere in my brain. This is what my brain looks like. I've got this there, I've got that there, this is going on, blah, 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 blah. Y'all know what this feeling is. And another thing when it comes to my, you know, purpose or what I want to be doing, which is sharing sort of these experiences online and like being a creator, all those things have been planted into my heart. That's what I'm doing. And I've taken a massive step away from that, taken several weeks off of that. And a part of that is like every time I open up my computer, I've got like 30 freaking tabs open. I've got like 5 different projects on my Final Cut Pro, and I've got like notepads all these notes out. I've got my journal laid out. I've got my YouTube / Instagram notebook laid out. I've got my memory book laid out. I've got like all of these things that are just like, so that each time I look at these things, I remember what I was doing and what I'm hoping for. And chaos. It's just a mess. And it, you know, your brain remembers what you were doing when you were looking at this. Your brain remembers what you were doing when you were doing this. Like, you guys know the projects you have on your computer, but then the projects you have on your phone, especially as a creator, like, so different. And so I'm gonna clean up my apartment, and I'm going to close out of everything on my computer, do the updates that Apple needs me to do. I'm going to shut my journals. I'm gonna take a step away. I'm gonna take a break. I know that's what I need. And then I'm gonna go for a walk. I may journal on the walk, but I'm gonna go for a walk. So I'll see you in a bit.